The comments. What was Regina King's character name on 227? This is trivia. We should be having trivia time right now. Whatever. I've loved Regina King for years. I loved her when what movie was it? She was on the basketball court with the dude. Mad movies like Regina King's that dude. Like she's that dude. I loved the fact that she played Huey and Riley to be able to do both of the voices. I just like Regina King is hands down one of the most talented Black women in Hollywood. And I have so much respect and love for her. I'm going to speak into existence. We are going to interview Regina King. I don't know how, who's going to make it happen, but Regina King is going to be waking up with Tayla Andre. Can we say amen? Ashe, when two or more touch and agree, go on and touch me. Go on and touch. I feel you, boo. I feel you. So she unveiled a directorial debut called One Night in Miami at Venice Film Festival. The actress slash director is one of the few Black female directors in Hollywood. She is one of the most important Black women in Hollywood, and she just unveiled her debut, One Night in Miami, based on the play of the same name from Kemp Powers. One Night in Miami imagines a conversation between four history-making men, Cassius Clay, Jim Brown, Sam Cooke, and Malcolm X. The Oscar-winning actress who stars in this year's most Emmy-nominated series, Watchmen, has already received rave reviews for her first film as a director. And I am excited for this because Regina King is a force of nature, mastering her craft in front of the camera, as we've seen her in extensive bodies of work over the years, and is now taking her talent behind the camera. We are so proud to welcome Regina and Kemp to the Amazon family. And that was the head of Amazon Studios who made a statement, Jennifer Salk of Amazon Studios. And so I am really excited. I don't know anything about the play, so I don't know anything about the movie, but Regina King is bomb. So I can only imagine that this too is going to be in the same vein. Rochester, Lord have mercy, New York Police Chief LaRon Singletary, the commanding officer, resigns following the accusation of a cover-up. And so I would like to let's have a real conversation real quickly, okay? So Rochester mayor is a Black woman. The police chief is a Black man. And I want to know, LaRon Singletary, when you saw this film, and when you saw the film, whether it's on the body cameras of the officer or the film that was like a bystander took, at no point in time did you think it was problematic. At no point in time did you say, like, we need to rectify this. Like, this was wrong. I don't think he should be able, or any police chief amid a tragedy should be able to just say, listen, I bow out gracefully. And so Singletary, who is Black, had received calls for his resignation after Prude's family released the body camera footage of his death last week. Prude was detained by police on March 22nd after his brother called a wellness check. Remember, we just had this conversation with the Caucasian 13-year-old with Asperger's. Prude was going through a psychotic break. He was also under PCP angel dust. And if you remember Friday when Smokey had some of the PCP and he was over there in the chicken coop doing flips in the middle of the street. So that's like the only understanding of PCP that I personally have is from Friday. But, you know, even still, they joked about it in Friday, but, you know, Smokey still had that twitch from the PCPs. I cannot imagine what this man was going through, like, to have all of these things that aren't real feel like reality. And so his brother called for a wellness check, and they ended up putting a spit bag over his head. We had this whole conversation. He ended up dying in police custody. When you watch the video, like, he's asking, like, he's telling you to get off his neck, and you can hear him go talking like this to talking like this. Like, you can hear the difference after the man sat on his back. And I'm wondering, like, where is the humanity? Where is the, you know, enough is enough. And it doesn't, I'm remembering the girls being in studio last week, and Soraya said that it doesn't matter the color of their skin, male or female. It's whenever they put on that badge and that uniform, they feel invincible and they feel like they don't have to treat people humanely. And so Singletary doesn't appear to be bowing to the will of protesters who have accused the police department and city government of covering up Prude's death. There have also been calls for the mayor to step down. The mayor told us, like, behind the podium, like, they didn't want me to come out here. They don't want me to say anything. They don't want me to speak. Like, the legal team told me to shut up. And I'm out here because I wouldn't be me if I wasn't me. I just watched this video today. When it was put out by the family was the first time I saw it. The police department didn't show it to me anytime prior. So I understand the anger and I understand the frustration, but to call the mayor to step down and to resign when she at the same time as us saw the video, I think is counterproductive, because she's definitely, taking the actions. She immediately suspended the police. She was on top of it. So to sit here and say you need to step down after she's actually doing the work, to me, doesn't make any sense. As a man of integrity, I will not sit idly by while outside entities attempt to destroy my character. The events over the past week are an attempt to destroy my character and integrity. The members of the Rochester Police Department and the greater Rochester community know my reputation and know what I stand for. The mischaracterization and politicalization of the actions that I took after being informed of Mr. Prude's death is not based on facts and is not what I stand for. According to reports who were watching the press conference, including Paul McLeod, Rochester's entire command staff has also stepped down. The resignation also comes 3 days after New York State Attorney General Letitia James announced that a grand jury will review Prude's case. There has also been disagreements about how much was communicating between Singletary and Mayor Warren in the immediate aftermath of Prude's killing. According to reports, Warren said that she didn't know the full details of Prude's death and that she had been told he died of a drug overdose. During a news conference last week, Warren said it wasn't until August 4th that she saw the footage of police arresting Prude. Singletary said he called Warren on March 23rd to alert her of the incident and that a criminal and internal investigation was underway. Since Prude's death has come to light, Warren has ordered the video of any in-custody deaths to be released within 24 hours. On Tuesday, Mayor Warren said that the search has begun to find an interim police chief. It's unclear who will be charged during the protests that are taking place this evening. And so, was it a cover-up? We don't know. That's not for me to speak on. But I do feel like the mayor is doing her due diligence and working diligently to just make it work. Like, I feel like when you see her speak, she puts me in the mindset of Rachel Rawlings, like in the fact that nobody owns me. No one's going to tell me what I can and cannot say. No one's going to lead me or direct me or stray me. I'm going to do what I feel is right. And that's kind of like how Rachel runs. Because there have been times Rachel was told, don't speak at this event, don't go to this event, don't associate yourself. And she's like, nah, you don't run me. Amidst all of the ignorant, heartbreaking news, I just want to give a huge shout out to American Airline, who allows crew members to wear Black Lives Matter pins. I don't know if you guys remember the article that I read last week where they went ahead and upgraded a woman who was being berated by her seat neighbor, who decided to go ahead and switch her mask to say blue lives matter, like people are just born blue. That's not how it works. American Airlines announced on Monday that employees will be allowed to wear Black Lives Matter pins on their uniform. The American airline believes in equity and inclusion for all, the company said in a statement announcing the move. They added that allowing the pins to be worn underscores our belief that all people, regardless of race, gender, or ethnicity, deserve to be treated with equality and respect. And so I respect that. Of course, there have been some backlash. A certain segment of white folks and bootleggers on Twitter had beef with this, asking the age-old question, what about Blue Lives Matter pins, huh? What about White Lives Matter pins, huh? Yeah, y'all could keep that, because your lives matter all the time. We spoke about this last week, but I want to reiterate that the Democrats introduced a bill declaring racism as a public health crisis. So just like you see injection needle sites taking place. Yo, can we talk for a second? Like, how is it real life tent city on Mass Ave? Like, how did that happen? How did Mount Ncaa become tent city real life? And police just let it happen. I do want to have a conversation about, like, how is it okay to literally watch somebody shoot up? How is that not equivalent of like public indecency? So if I, for instance, go outside or drive around with only a bra, I don't know, see-through bra, I can be, or not even. Tayla on Freaky Friday decided that she was going to smash. She was going to engage in sexual activity on Mass Ave. Like, how? That's a like sexual offenders list, indecent exposure, fine, maybe jail time, possibly being arrested. But if I go to Mass Ave and inject a Class A substance, the police will just watch me. Yo, I had a friend, come and visit, and I smoke weed. I do, okay? I smoke weed. I've been keeping it in secret all these years, but y'all know I blow trees. And this person was just like, hold on, but like, I don't want to smoke in public. I'm like, yo, they shoot up in public. No one's gonna bother you because you have a blunt. Like, who's gonna bother you for a blunt? You could have a needle and shoot that in your arm and nobody will bother you. Hi, you're in Boston. And it was just like, to say that out loud just really put in perspective like where we are as Bostonians. And it's actually kind of annoying. So I say it jokingly, but I am so annoyed. Senator Elizabeth Warren, Rep. Ayanna Pressley, and Barbara Lee of California have introduced legislation to declare racism a national public health crisis. And so the three women collaborated to draft a bill and announce the Anti-Racism in Public Health Act of 2020 late last week. The group cited that COVID-19 pandemic and the Black Lives Matter protests occurring across the country as reasons to consider approving the motion. It is time. Warren said, it is time we start treating structural racism like we would treat any other public health problem or disease, investigating and research into investing into research into the symptoms and causes and find ways to mitigate its effects. My bill with Representative Lee and Pressley is the first step to create anti-racist federal health policy that studies and addresses disparity in health outcomes at their roots. We talked about this last week, but a lot of this money at first is going to go into research and to find out how deep the rabbit hole goes. I am interested in finding out, like, I want to read the report. We already know the effects. Many of us live the effects, but I'm interested in, like, who are these researchers? Why? What conclusions have they come to? And how do you plan on mitigating these problems? A new study breaks down how affluent white students and coaches profit from the exploitation of Black NCAA athletes. So this was an amazing article that I enjoyed reading because um, I I lived in Birmingham, Alabama, and as you know, Roll Tide. There is a lot of money in college sports, like a lot, like millions, hundreds of millions of dollars in college sports. And these students, there was a article that we read years ago. Many of these students are eating ramen noodles and like don't have clothes on their back. And when you are being, used for profit by your school, but yet you still don't have full scholarship for tuition. You still don't have a meal plan. You kind of like asked out because let you have an injury, they're ready to throw you to the wolves and find another Negro to put your number on their back. And so the NCAA is a big business for everyone but Black players. But we already knew that because like millions of other accomplished individuals, you watched the Wake Up with Tayla Andre show. But what you probably didn't know was how extensive the NCAA ban on profit sharing with student athletes, enacted by a 1957 court ruling that denied the widow of college athlete Ray Dennison workers' compensation death benefits after he was killed during a collegiate football game. So give me 5 seconds because I want to find out whether or not Ray Dennison was Black or white. Ray Dennison apparently owns a Chevrolet in Illinois, but Ray Dennison, 1957, or Ray Dennison football. Student athlete, go to images. He was actually a white man. He was a white man. Okay, I see, I said. All right, so Ray Dennison's widow wife was denied workers' compensation death benefits after he was killed in a collegiate football game, allowing affluent white students to benefit from the exploitation of their lower income Black peers. According to the Washington Post, the National Bureau of Economic Research examined the revenue and expense data of all 65 athletic programs in the NCAA's Power Five conferences from 2006 to 2019, as well as the team's rosters across every sports player's race and ethnicity in their hometowns. This is what they found. The data yielded a number of findings. First, the revenue generated by those athletic departments nearly doubled during the study period, from 4.4 billion to 8.5 billion. Nearly 60% of that revenue was generated by football, basketball teams. Much of it derived from the increasingly lucrative sales of broadcasting rights to major television networks. Over the study period, the average annual salary of coach staff nearly doubled from 4.8 million to 9.8 million. Non-coaching administrative salaries nearly doubled as well, but financial support for the athletes, primarily tuition aid, room, and board, grew by 47%. But aside from making it rain on coaches and administrators, schools made significant investments in providing their teams with extravagant facilities so that their student athletes can continue to generate billions of dollars free of charge. There's also one of the worst kept secrets in college sports: the exorbitant profits from football and basketball programs, each comprise predominantly of Black players. 60% of NCAA players are Black, subsidize countless non-revenue sports like tennis or sailing. And so if you are non-Black, if you like tennis or if you like sailing or if you like golf, you get like this extra extravagant facility because your Black students just made all this money for you. Long story short, the coaches are making billions. I misspoke, not millions, billions, baby. Billions. What is that? $9.5 billion. That's a lot. $8.5 billion. Somebody's like, I'm in the wrong business. You surely is. Meet the twin sisters who came together to create their own wine. Black girl magic. The wine industry has been known for being notoriously white, but there are many examples of Black entrepreneurs who have not only been able to enter the market, but also find ways to thrive. These twin sisters found a way to integrate culture with their love of rosé wine to create a brand new brand. And so Nichelle and Nicole are the founders of Guilty Grape, a newly launched wine brand, a rosé packed into a micro vineyards of Napa Valley at an affordable price. As Black women and wine lovers, we became increasingly frustrated with the lack of Black representation. Hold on, I'm sorry. With the lack of Black representation and inclusion within the wine industry. And this was an interview with Black Enterprise. From marketing efforts to the type of wines being offered to our community, typically sweet wines, we noticed that African American market was an afterthought in wine. Our culture deserves more. So we decided to join the other small groups of Black industry disruptors by starting the Guilty Grape to include those overlooked consumers. So coming from entertainment background, the sisters wanted to create a brand that offered representation for other Black women who like to indulge in wine with their own business aspirations. There is no easy access point into the wine industry, but it was abundantly clear that our mere presence was disruptive to the norm. Between being young, Black, and female, finding the right resources and building the right relationships, there were many hurdles. The brand plans on expanding its collection to include Chardonnay and Cabernet at a later date, but the bottle is really cute and I like it. And so it's called The Guilty Grape. They do have an Instagram page and they are located in Chicago, Illinois. And so shout out to The Guilty Grape. And I'm going to their Instagram page now. And the sisters are gorgeous, as a matter of fact. They said that they're in the entertainment industry, but I haven't seen them before. But maybe let me go to the comments because, you guys know everybody. Everybody smoking weed since COVID come. I was pre-COVID, baby. I've been we will have a whole weed smoking conversation at a later date because you just don't know. A little bit of everybody smokes weed. When you take a look on Blue Hill Ave, the dispensary on Blue Hill Ave, and you see the people in line at the dispensary, you're like, yo, yo, it looked like your math teacher is in line. It looked like the science teacher's in line, the librarian's in line. Like, yo, the amount of weed smokers, the diversity of weed smokers, it does not make, when you take a look at the diversity of weed smokers in a dispensary line, and then you take a look at like those that have been made into the crime bill, it's just like, yo, this is so disproportionate because it be mostly white people in the line. It don't even be Black people at all. The bouncer's the only Black person there, but everybody else. And it's not even like hippies. Like when you think about weed smokers, you have this idea of like this dude who looked like Tyrone with black lips who smoke Swisher Sweets all day, every day, or like a white boy with long hair that's not really dreaded, but he ain't brushed it in a while, so they started to become locks. But when you actually take a look at the people in the line, it's it's confusing. It's like, damn, I did not know that Karen's auntie be in line. Like, it's funny to me. And I want to give a huge shout out to one of my favorite growers. What's going on, farmer? The farmer and the how would you spend $900,000 a month on entertainment? How do you spend $900,000 a year on entertainment? what is considered entertain? Like at this point, I'm reconsidering what entertainment might be. My life seemed extremely boring if I'm not spending $900,000 a month on it. And so I don't know if you guys heard this story, but Nicole Young is Dr. Dre, wife, and Nicole Young, soon to be ex-wife of hip hop super producer and mogul Andre Dr. Dre Young, dropped the deets and is requesting $2 million a month in temporary spousal support. As you can imagine, all that is like, that's insane. Black Twitter was going crazy. Miss Young is encouraging, herself to get all the money, and she broke down the details. She wants $1,936,399 a month. Laundry and cleaning is $10,000 a month. To do laundry and to clean the house is $10,000 a month. Most people don't make $10,000 in 3 months. And that's, if you take a look at Boston, 50% of Bostonians make less than $30,000 a year. That $10,000 is literally a third of what they make. Clothes is $135,000 a month. Do you need new clothes every day? Like, you just spent $10,000 cleaning the clothes. Are you going to buy new ones? $135,000 a month, not a year, on new clothes. Education, tuition, and living expenses, $60,000 a month. And for me, this is probably the only one I understand. So if your children have been attending private school their whole life, like, you are the children of Dr. Dre. You can't just go to public school. That's not the way it works. You have to go to private school. And private school, I tried to sign Prince up for Montessori school. That junk is $25,000 a year. And that's literally in the middle of the hood, taught by, Tasha, like literally. So at $25,000 a year for some hood education, I can imagine that education for a prominent member of society could be upwards to maybe not $60,000 a month, including tuition and living expenses, $900,000 a month for entertainment, $125,000 a month for charitable contributions. When I saw that, I was like, all I need is 1 month worth. Let me just be a charity for 1 month, right? Just 1 month. Let me be a charity. Let me be a charity and get half of your 1 month contribute. Y'all hitting up the wrong people. Go hit up Nicole Young and ask her to donate to your 501(c)(3). Mortgage is $100,000 a month. You're always doing the math on that, right? So that the house is at least like $125 million for the mortgage to be $100,000 a month. And so, yeah. The telephone, cell phone, and email is $20,000 a month. And I'm like, who your cell phone bill with? This isn't Verizon back, and this isn't Sprint. Like, this isn't Sprint when you had like $2,000 phone bills. This isn't freaking call me after 9 p.m. Like, how is your cell phone email $20,000 a month? Even if you had somebody, you paid someone to take your phone calls for you, and you paid someone to email, to read your emails for you, that junk still ain't $20,000 a month. I'm just a hater, because $1.9 million a month is crazy. And if she wants $1.9 million a month, how much does Dr. Dre make a month in order for her to want $2 million? I'm a hater. That's real. That's long money, baby. That's long money. Because I don't understand, because Netflix is $15, Hulu is $12, Disney is $30, Spotify is 15, Apple Music is 15, and Tidal is 20. The most expensive cable package is $400. Eating out every day, $200 a day for 30 days is $6,000. The most expensive hotel room every weekend is $100,000, and that's like $25,000 a night. Strip club shenanigans twice a week would be $80,000. And like, to buy out a water park is $10,000. To buy out the most expensive restaurant is $10,000. A long stay at a fancy spa is $10,000. Barnes and Noble's shopping spree is $20,000. To pay Stevie Wonder to come sing to your family once a week for 20 minutes is $200,000. So they're doing the math of like nonsensical nonsense. New toy swag, $50,000. New laptops for the family. Everybody getting MacBook Pros is $12,000. A private jet rental, helicopter rental, Uber Black is $400,000. So like adding all this stuff up still doesn't equate to $1.9 million. Like as far as the entertainment portion of the $900,000, like if you go bananas and just order whatever you want at $900,000, like you're literally spending, what is it, like 125,000? I don't even know. I'm a hater. I'm a hater because I just want a third. That's all I need. Tracee Ellis Ross. So I've been sitting on this for years. And so I am not a director. I am not a screenwriter. But I have this idea of the Black Golden Girls. And so for me, okay, so Tracee Ellis Ross, Regina King, and more want to join forces for the Black Golden Girl special. So it's Sanaa Lathan, Alfre Woodard. I don't like Alfre Woodard. Like as an actress, I don't enjoy her voice. I don't believe she's funny, but she has been in entertainment for so long. I get it. She's a veteran. She's here. She's not going anywhere. But I personally am not a fan. I would not have picked her to be one. But they have, and I'm lying because it's not Alfre Woodard that I don't like. What's the other one? And she was in Waiting to Exhale. The Thickums. What is her name? Where my comments at? Because my comments know everything. Y'all don't know nothing today? It's fine. I can't think of her. But they want to reimagine Golden Girls. But for me, what the reimagined Golden Girls is like grandmothers, like a West Indian grandmother, an African grandmother, like a Dominican or Puerto Rican grandmother, and like an Americanized grandmother. And so that's what I would like to see. I would like to see like old, and like literally old, because Sanaa Lathan is not old. Regina King is not old. Tracee Ellis Ross is not old. Like they're not even old enough to play grandmothers. And for like, I want old ladies that aren't even in the industry, just like Black Panther, the 80-year-old that got her first role. That was her first role. That's what I would like to see. I would like to see legit, like Tayla nominated her grandmother to play the West Indian, like a Bayesian, Jamaican, Trini grandmother. And I would like for the show to be centered around food, like the different foods that they cook their grandkids, or the different foods that they cook their families. And for like at the end of this show or the series or whatever, there's like a cookbook, and that's like part of the merch. So I've like flushed all of this out. So I just might have to hit up Regina King and Alfre Woodard and Sanaa Lathan and Tracee Ellis Ross and say, listen, I'm gonna have to do my Kanye. Y'all have a good idea, but I got one better. Because I definitely want to see like people nominate their elders to play, and then like to also do like a little spin-off of like one of the grandmothers being in a relationship, because we like older elders are getting married at like 80, even though they already had like marriages in their past and their family is done. Like they still yearn for companionship. They still deserve companionship. So that's what I would like to see as far as my spin-off of Golden Girls. So we are coming to the top of the hour. We do have some news stories, but I do want to talk about some of these scamming ass people and some of these scams that is out here. So we are going to take a really quick break. And when we come back, we're going to talk about some of the scams that is going on in the world. I don't know about too many of them, but I do want you to share with me what you know. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I am responding to a phone call. I currently am at work right now. Is this a number that I can call back in about an hour? Yes, and I would like to move forward with whatever it is you guys need me to do. Thank you so much. Thank you. Hmm. So I'm so excited. And I just can't hide it. Ah. Y'all ready? I'm ready. Let's go. Let's go into these fraud ass. I can't cuss like I want to cuss because there's kids watching. Good rising, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. I am Tayla Andre. Waking up with Tayla Andre has absolutely nothing to do with the time of day we link up, but waking up your third eye with unorthodox conversations leading to universal consciousness. We are talking about fraud. We talking about scamming. What the boys say? I forgot the damn song. The whole song. Looking like I still do fraud. It's a G. Yo, so let's really talk about these scammers. Let's talk about this fraud, because everybody's a scammer today. It's 2020, baby. Everybody's a scammer. I heard it. So we're going to talk about scams I heard about, because I don't really be knowing. I just listen, and I'm here for the comments. And so we do have some Facebook comments as far as some of the scams that are taking place. But one of the scams that I heard was like the whole Cash App scam. So the Cash App scam is about like during the PPP, the PPE that came out, and it was just like mad people that had like social security numbers of like disabled people, social security numbers of elders, social, like they just had mad people social, and was signing up for the additional $600. So even if they didn't get the, what's it called? Unemployment. Even if they didn't get the unemployment, they still got the additional $600, and then they would add the cash onto a Cash App card. And this is like, that's how people were getting bread. There was a bunch of people who were doing Cash App things. I wasn't a part of it, but I was like, dag, how didn't I know about these things? So it's the Cash App scam. What else did I hear about? I heard about the if I send you, like, you'll get an email or you'll get a phone call, you'll get a text message or whatever, like however it is, what you'll get is like, I'll send you a check and then you cash the check and send me X amount of dollars back. And so if somebody sends you a check for $5,000 and they're like, oh, you can keep the 2,000, just send me 3,000. And then, so the check is cashed and you send them the money, you keep a little money for yourself. And then like 20 days later, it comes back that the check was not a real check. And then your company then, or whoever cashed your check is then like, yo, like, you owe us the full amount of the check. It's like, where's your responsibility? Where is how am I supposed to know it was a fake check? If it took your ass 30 days to figure out it was a fake check, how? You should have known it was fake. Please, you should have knew it was fake. You get to write that off. As a company, as a banking institution, you have X amount of dollars that you get to write off that the government will reimburse you for. But yet the client or the customer does not have that same luxury. And now, even though you got reimbursed by the government, the customer still has to pay you back in this money that they quote unquote paid you. So aside from that, some of the comments came in, dating Nigerian men. As far as like, what scams should we be mindful of and how have you been scammed out of money? Somebody said dating a Nigerian man. I don't know how accurate that is, but when I was in Ethiopia, there was this Nigerian who was just like, I want you to be my girlfriend. And I was just like, you have a whole wife sitting over there. He was like, oh no, that's my mistress. I said, what? He was like, yes, my wife is at home. I am out with my mistress and I would like for you to be my girlfriend. I said, oh, hell no. No, that's not the way it works. I'm an American. It doesn't work that way with me. What's the name? Jesse Wu. I was watching Jesse Wu. The kids got me hooked on this damn, what's this thing called? I am addicted. TikTok, child. I'm addicted to TikTok. These kids got me addicted to a damn TikTok. Somebody take my phone over a damn TikTok. So on Jesse Wu's TikTok, she said, if I am your girlfriend, I am a girl who is your friend. You don't have any other friends but me. Talking about some of your homegirls. I am a girl that is in your home. I am your homegirl. Like, happy hour? You don't. What's a happy hour? You spend an hour with me, I make you happy. That's it. You don't need no other girls that are friends. And so for this Nigerian man to say that he had a wife at home, he was out clubbing with his mistress, and he wanted to add me to the roster as a girlfriend. Now I'm good. No, thank you. My cousin Chanel said, making a company millions of dollars for a small hourly pay. That is the scam of the century. I don't know how they scammed us into that. When you join, like if you do multi-level marketing, AKA they call it a pyramid scheme, or if you go to work, a pyramid is like top down, right? So there's one person at the top and then many people at the bottom. And so I personally never thought that a pyramid scheme had anything to do with multi-level marketing. Like that just didn't make sense to me because when I did multi-level marketing, I've done all of them. Like name it, I've done it. I've sold sex toys. I've sold prepaid legal, which is like legal services for $35 a month. And then you have access to a real attorney. And I once upon a time, I thought it was nonsense until I actually needed an attorney because I got 3 speeding tickets. 3 speeding tickets in one day in Alabama. And the attorney came with me to what's the name? Like the attorney came with me to court, fought on my behalf. And I was just like, oh, this is really real. Okay. Prepaid legal. What else did I sell? Amway. I was a part of Amway. I was a part of I've been a part of every multi-level marketing business that has ever the travel. I did the travel thing. And the people who brought me in, I surpassed them. So for me, I've never seen multi-level marketing as a pyramid scheme because if we are in a pyramid and you were above me, but I came above you, then I kind of you're not holding me down. You're not suppressing me. But yet at a workplace, I will never be able to own FedEx. I'll never be the owner of Tesla. I'll never even if I'm the manager, Elon Musk is still Elon Musk. To me, that's like a real pyramid scheme. And so I personally think it is absolutely insane and a real scam to get people to work for you for $12, $15 an hour, and their work is making you millions. Yes, that's a scamming ass. I don't know how they got us to think that this was okay. But we do it. We do it every single. When you get up and you go to work, you want to know what's a scam? Paying taxes and not having control over your police, not having any control over your firefighters, not having any control over your educators. That's the real scam. That's a Gotti. Gotcha. That's the scam. I'm thinking of other workplace things in the work. Even if you make $80,000 a year, how much are you making the company? If they're paying you, and who said that? It was Master P. Master P said that they were willing to offer him $100 million. And he was like, if you're willing to give me $100 million, because I think they wanted to buy No Limit. And they wanted to buy No Limit for $100 million. And he was like, if you're willing to give me $100 million, it's probably worth double that. And so no, I'm not gonna sell. And so there are so many of us that go to work, and what is that saying? Work on somebody's dream, but your name will never be on the building. Working on someone's dream, name on the building. Yo, this is how I Google though. If you don't build your dream, someone else will hire you to build theirs. That's what it is. Tony Gaskins. If you don't build your dream, someone will hire you to help you build them. And Tony Gaskins actually was not the first person, because Tony Gaskins is actually he's like a newer life coach, a newer mentor type situation. And I heard that back when I was doing multi-level marketing when I was 18. If you don't build your dream, somebody will pay you to build theirs. If your name's not on the building, that's what it was. If your name's not on the building, you're building someone else's dream. Pop. If you are not like, I want you to repeat this and teach your children this and talk to others about this. If your name is not on the building, you are building someone else's dream. Scamming ass. Got it. They got you. Was another scam. A track team in Boston for my 3 kids. We were used to raise money for a trip that got canceled a week before. Never refunded. Left it in God's hands. Will never trust any of these Boston teams again. No offense to the good fundraising teams. You know what? I do wonder about that. Like some of these situations, like when the kids are outside in their uniform, like, oh, we're raising money for uniforms, or we're raising money for this, or we're raising money for that. And it's like, but didn't you pay? Like, didn't your parents pay $125 per kid for the uniforms? Like, why are you raising? And I think that was a situation like when we were in Birmingham, Alabama, and Anari was on a baseball team, and I had to pay like $175 for him to be a part of the team and get his uniform and get this and get that and then they wanted us to sell Krispy Kremes. And I was just like, the hell I'm selling Krispy Kremes for if I paid my $175? Give me my money back. If you want me to sell Krispy Kremes, then you're gonna have to pick one. You don't get both. Like, you don't get me to be on the street selling donuts when they could just go to Krispy Kremes and buy the donuts. That nonsense never made sense to me either. But another thing, when these babies are selling Girl Scout cookies, do you know how much money they get? Like Girl Scouts get for the girls selling Girl Scout cookies, but the girls never like actually get any money or any funding or any resources or any trips. Like they themselves don't profit anything from selling Girl Scout cookies. So scamming ass. Got it. Pyramid schemes, working a 9-to-5 your whole life with nothing to show for it. That was Tiffany Payne. And AJ, the graphic designer, said that's not a scam. That's the person's fault for actually like falling for it. And so, but I think the overall scam of it is the belief that if you go to school, that's a whole nother. So shout out to Jelani, because Jelani said that was a scam, going into $100,000 debt to make $50,000 a year. Going to school, like thinking that going to college and getting an education, getting a degree, putting yourself in debt, $50,000, $100,000 in order to make, what was the meme that I saw recently? It was like, desired education, requirements, desired, required education, a master's degree. And then it says like pay per hour, $15 an hour. It's like, hold on, you want to pay me $15 an hour for my master's degree? Like what? And I think it was like city government. It was like some type of city job, like tier type situation, and they were paying $15 an hour, and it was required for you to have a master's degree. Why? A master's degree costs no less than $100,000. And so if you think for 5 seconds, and I believe that if your degree cost you $50,000, whatever your job is, you should expect nothing less than $50,000. Nothing less than $50,000 a year. Why? Because I still got this student loan I gotta pay off. I'm gonna need you to come up off that cash. Scamming ass. Mobile, aka Frank's Petro near Blue Hill Ave, is under investigation. My fiance and I almost had our identity stolen after pumping gas there one time. Right after we used their pump, 4 random charges try to go through the accumulated almost $400 within 3 minutes of leaving. We called immediately to report what happened at the gas station. The owner said in denial, not my pumps. I'm going to go outside and check the pumps and give you a call back. They never did. Then Credit Karma and Robinhood stated that our accounts was compromised later that day. Good thing for credit lock and fraud alerts on our banks and that decline the multiple transactions. Be careful. Scammers are real as F. And the sketchy part is that they are using 2 business names, tax fraud scheme, maybe. And so this is the mobile on Blue Hill Ave, aka Frank's Petro. And so I don't use gas nowhere I lied. I paid cash for the one in Roxbury. I don't use cards for the one in Roxbury. And that's only if I'm getting like $3, like literally $3 worth of gas to get me to. So can I be honest, y'all? Let me be transparent. I am lazy AF. So I do not like pumping gas. I would rather go to a full service. So I am that person. Like, I wish we were in New Jersey. I wish I never had to pump gas ever. Ever. Like, I would pay somebody to pump my gas for me. I don't know why. It's so simple. It's, it's not strenuous, but it's something about like pumping gas that is, I shouldn't have to do it. It's like cleaning my car. I shouldn't have to do it. And the truth of the matter is, it's because I have a daddy. Because my daddy spoiled me rotten. Because my daddy would take my car and go fill it up with gas. My daddy would take my car and wash it and vacuum it. And I'd have a clean car filled with gas. Like, as a female that has been spoiled rotten, Daddy, this is your fault. Can we call him? I want to call my daddy because now I'm mad. Because now I'm pissed. Let's see if Daddy even answers the phone. At first, I didn't understand. I did not understand why I had this problem or why the issue was that I was just thinking, I told you, this is all peer-to-peer counseling, y'all. Like, thank you for helping me unpack these issues. Daddy?
Yes, ma'am.
So I would like to call you and to complain because I have a problem.
What's the problem?
I don't like pumping gas. I don't like cleaning my car. And I don't like vacuuming my vehicle.
I understand.
Do you know why?
Because I used to do that for you.
Daddy, this is a real problem for me. So, because you created this problem, I need you to help create a solution.
Create a solution. So, you got to find you somebody who's willing to pick up that mantle and run with it. That's the solution.
No, Daddy, my solution was you just come home and continue doing what you started.
Oh, see, what happened? You can convince Mama to come, I'll come.
Oh, Lord. Yeah, right. That's not how. I guess I got to go to Georgia.
Hey, babe. I gotta run.
Okay, love you, Daddy.
Love you too. Bye-bye.
I'm just spoiled rotten. I accept. Whatever. My daddy did this. And now my father got to fix this, or I got to move down south in order to get my my gas pump. Paula Kelly said, trying to adopt a dog. We learn most vet rescues have good intentions, but 1 or 2 are definitely scamming with language like you have 90 days after the adoption to request return of dog at their discretion of what they perceive as breaking any rules in mandated agreement for complying with pop-up person check-ins. They would take a dog back without refunding the adoption fee. I see this as a scam as they use the home visit and references from veterinarians, landlords, and others vets before adopting. So why the 90-day control of adopter's life? I have no problem being vetted, but once I adopt and the dog becomes part of the family, I will let no one take him or her back. It's fine to be vetted and to agree to get professional training to help with the pet and the new pet owner bond and work on some worrisome behaviors to help the pet owner feel to feel more comfortable. As a rescue, they sound like they don't care for the animals, but they just want the rehome fee for an additional $500 plus. So I was completely unaware of like adoption. If you adopt a dog, pause. If somebody dropped this animal off to you and it got shots, then why do I not just pay for the shots? Why am I paying a whole $500 to adopt a pet? I don't know. I'm not a pet person. I don't like pets. I don't do dogs. I do enjoy that big ass cat. Hold on. It's like a tiger cat. Tiger cat. And it's like huge. Tiger cat pet. What is that pet called? It's big as hell. So that one, and it eats. So there's one on Instagram that I saw, right? It's this big, huge cat that looks like a tiger, or it looks like a baby tiger. And it is, this is it. Here it is. What is this called? What are you called? It's called a toiger? Tiger cat? A domesticated tiger? A toiger? Is that what it's called? It's beautiful. Oh, Bengal. That's what it's called. It's a Bengal cat. So I am absolutely in love. So I do like cats. And the reason why I like cats is because cats don't care. Cats don't listen. Cats do what they want. They're ignorant AF. Like I love cats because they do their own thing. But spiritually, cats are like completely in tune. And so I appreciate cats, and this Bengal cat, from what I read, does not shed. So my thing is like the fur. I don't like fur. I don't like fur on my clothes. I hate when people have dogs and you go to their house and you can't sit on their furniture because you get pet dander or pet fur all over. Like it's nasty. It's completely disgusting. People who let their pets sleep in the bed with them, you know, I can't even eat the food from your house because you let cats freaking walk on the counters, and dogs are up on their paws begging for food. Like that, to me, that's just nasty. Like, unless you have a cat that is downstairs in its little cubicle cubby, or a dog that stays in a cage, or just out, I'm good. But I do like rabbits, and we have had multiple rabbits in our past. Unfortunately, Asaria killed the first rabbit by feeding it chocolate. The second rabbit got eaten by an eagle or some flying thing. We're not the best with pets. We are not. I don't do pets. And so I'm not the best with them, but I don't know, like rabbits are super easy to care for. A lot of people don't know, but you can, you can potty train. All our rabbits were potty trained. And so they could like move freely around the house and then like go pee and poop in their cage. And so I thoroughly enjoy rabbits, and that's the extent of my pet experience. But I did not know that as far as like adopting a pet, it was that expensive. $500 for a rehome fee. That's crazy. Wanda Darden. So talking about scamming. So Wanda I talked about this a little bit last week, but to go in depth, Wanda Darden, One United Bank stole a face. In 2016, OUB, One United Bank, ran a campaign using a Black woman's image, calling it Mona. She did not sign a release, did not receive compensation, was charged over $100,000 in legal fees, and they refused to stop using it. And there is a petition on change.org for you to sign the petition for One United Bank to stop doing illegal things. Mona, aka Wanda Darden, is still in court fighting One United Bank for her image. And for those who who are online. It is stop printing her face on bank products, change.org. And it's stop bank black scams, no money donation. This is bigger than that. Please just sign. Wanda Darden, professionally known as Phantom Noette, has been charged over $100,000 since 2017 by attorneys to stop One United Bank from using her face, image, and likeness and characterization. This is a violation of civil rights statutes 50 and 51. Darden has never given permission orally or written for the use of her face, image, likeness, or characterization for any advertising or commercial purposes. For those who can see, there is a video that shows how Wanda's face has been used over and over again. And I'm trying to see if I can get you guys to see this. Okay, there it is. So that is the One United. And that is her actual picture. That is her actual picture. And so I definitely want you guys to sign the petition. I have signed it once already, and so I will not be able to sign it again. But her photo is literally just, they took her photo and just made her blue. They turned her into, what's that thing called? An avatar. They turned her blue into an avatar, and that was what they did. Hold on, this is Daddy. Hi, Daddy.
Hey, sorry about that. I had to take a phone call at work.
No worries. So we're on air talking about how you just got me used to behaviors and then left me.
Oh, sorry. That's why I called you back.
Okay. So can we please flush this out?
Sure.
Okay. So having a father in your life is super important because it teaches you your self-worth and the things that you know that you deserve. For instance, I know I deserve not to have to pump gas, clean my car, or take it to get vacuumed.
Right.
And now I don't get the same treatment by the rest of the world.
Mm-hmm. So why do you think that?
Because I settled for less. That's why.
Pretty much. Well, it comes down to requirements, and I always said to you and Alex that a man's going to give you exactly what you ask for. The question is, what are you asking for? If you make things like that known up front, then yeah, you'll find out if they're down for that cause or not down for that cause. And it starts with just simply say, hey, look, this is part of what I expect a man in my life to do. I need you to make sure my gas tank is never empty. And if my car needs cleaning, shining, waxing, roughing, vacuuming, then you can grab the keys and go ahead and do that.
Does that make me superficial?
No, it just means that, how's the best way to say this? It just means that it's what you want, Like for example, for me, I don't need a woman to, like with my wife, with my, I don't need her to do all the things that I was taught to do by my mother. I know how to wash my own clothes. I know how to clean a house. I know how to vacuum. I know how to do all that stuff around the house. So I don't require her to do that, But let's say I did. And she's the same way. She doesn't require me to do those things she knows how to do. But I still do things around the house to help her out. Like I'll do the dishes. I'll wash the clothes. If her car needs cleaning and shining, I still do that for her. But it's all about things that you say you want in a relationship, and you have to make them known. And there's a little give and take. You can't say, hey, cut and dry. You just got to be a little give, a little take. Because there's times where I can't go gas up her car, because for one, she's empty. But if I do happen to switch, whenever we do switch cars, I will make sure that when I get back to it, got plenty of gas. If I see that it's dirty, then I'll take it to work and I'll equate it.
Daddy, I am jealous.
What?
I'm jealous. Like I should have made better decisions in my life. That's how I feel.
So the best way to make better decisions is you have to make bad ones first. Nobody does everything 100% or 90 or 80% right. We tend to do 90% of the things we do in life wrong. And then as we learn from those mistakes, we tend to grow. You want to get to a point where you're 51% of the choices you make are right versus 49%. But you have to make those 49% wrong choices to know how to get to that 51. I see a lot of folks still that are at 10%. 10%. You give 10 choices, they'll get. You give 10 choices, they'll get one right out of 9. That's not good. They're always struggling. They don't take time to sit back and think things through. That's a tongue twister. I always put that on you and your sister. Make better decisions.
Okay, Daddy. So hold on. For the daddies that are listening, how do dads create, so you did an amazing job, right? With me and Alex. What would you suggest to other dads who are trying to do amazing jobs as well? But as far as your mistakes are concerned, the mistakes that you made with Alex and I, how can they not make those mistakes? What can they do to mitigate those mistakes?
Talk a lot. You can't be afraid as a father to share information, and it's vital information. All of our talks we used to have late at night, I would give you just enough information that's age appropriate. As you got older, I went into more detail than that. So I think what a lot of fathers have to do now is realizing that you've been through a lot of stuff already in life. Men and women. So our children, we don't want them to go through that. So we have to equip them with the knowledge that we've learned from. Still allow them room to get out there and try it on their own, because that's what kids do. They don't think what we say is relevant. I'm gonna go out and do it my way. Okay, great. And then we just sit back and wait for you to fail, dust yourself off, encourage you to continue and try again. But you definitely have to give your kids the knowledge and the truthful knowledge. You can't be afraid to sugarcoat it. There was times when you were dating and you were so all excited about this one guy, and I told you, I said, I'm not worried about
Adrian. That. I remember Adrian.
I'm not worried about that guy. I said, the guy I'm worried about is the guy that comes to me and says to me, I want to marry your daughter. That's the guy I'm worried about. Everybody else is just a passing stage. And I told you, I said, a year from now, you won't even remember who this guy was. And you're like, I will. I brought up a year later. You're like, who? Yeah. I was like, no. But I had to let you go through that to show you that wasn't the end all be all. But as a parent, I thought as your father, and with you and Alex, because of what I had went through in my life, I knew I had to give you all as much information and knowledge, street cred knowledge as I could. You guys are book smart. You amazingly smart, but there's some things that you're just not gonna learn.
Yo, that's street knowledge. I like that street knowledge.
Street knowledge, baby. Come on.
I am an idiot with it. I give you definitions upon definitions all day, but don't ask me about a quarter pound, a tray five. Don't ask me nothing about nothing when it comes to that.
Hey, you got to go to the what's it called, SOHK, School of Hard Knocks. That's street. But that's what I had to teach you guys. I didn't want to teach you guys. I wanted you to learn that and learn it through my experiences, so that you can see that these things really do happen. Now, when you go out in the world, you take your book knowledge, your education, you take your street, and you combine the two, and then hopefully, with all that information, you can make better decisions. Get up above that 51%, above that
Daddy, I love you so much.
I love you too, baby.
Yeah. Daddy, do you know about any scams right now? Are there any scams going on that you know about that people need to be wary of?
Scams. I can't say I know of any. I can't.
Well, we're gonna go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, but with anything that's presented to you, I view everything. Unfortunately, I view everything as okay. What's the bad side of this? I look at everything kind of with a sense of skepticism. Just because I know a lot of things just are, if it's too good to be true, it's too good to be true. So you look at everything, so with the side eye, like, okay, where's the aha, I got your moment. I look at everything like that. That way I know I'm going in with my eyes open, so I'm not going, ooh, wow, bamboozled by the flashing lights, the glitter, glamour. I'm just like, no, okay, hold on. Let me look at this from a more realistic point of view. But most people who fall into scams tend to be looking for that quick come up, for lack of better words. Anybody calling you up and say, hey, we're gonna XYZ or BAD and do this and do that, and you're like, oh really? I can come up and do that? Yeah, okay. You're gonna get cooked.
Well, Daddy, I'm gonna wrap up my show. I thank you. I love you so much.
Love you too, baby. Hi to all your listeners.
Thank you. Bye, Daddy.
Bye, baby.
Y'all see where I get it from, right? Y'all see my daddy? That's my daddy. And my daddy's daddy. What's going on, DJ Quiet Storm? Good to see you. So one of the things that I wanted to be mindful of, like as far as scams are concerned, so if you ever get a call from someone who says like the IRS will never, ever, 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 ever call you. Ever. Like never. The IRS does not call people. And so I know that I have received, and just because I know, because I've done taxes in the past. Like I know the IRS doesn't call you. They will send you 1,000,001 letters. They will like straight garnish your wages without it wasn't a letter. They will never call you. They will never email you. You will never see the IRS pop up on your caller ID. But what you will do is get like companies that are just like, this is the IRS and your social security number is going to be paused or deactivated. Like there's no such thing as deactivation of your social security number because you didn't do XYZ with your taxes. So if anybody ever calls you and just like, listen, we will, just pay us $50 today, pay us $100 today. That is a scam. Be mindful. Even like some of the smartest people have been scammed. And when they're like talking about jail time and they're talking about like credit cards, so as far as credit is concerned, let's say for instance, you owe Tayla Andre, and Tayla Andre has been calling you and calling you and calling you. And then all of a sudden Tayla Andre stops calling you, but Tayla Maid starts calling you. And it's just like, this is Tayla Maid. You owe Tayla Andre. And you know what? Let's just say, this is Spark FM. You owe Tayla Andre $50,000. And just like, so, well, if you pay us today for $500, we can, take off the fact that you owe Tayla Andre $50,000. Don't pay it. Don't pay it. Do not pay it. Don't even think about paying it. So one of the things that many people don't know is, if I am a corporation, I am a business, you owe me money and you don't pay me, I write it off and I count it as a loss on my taxes. So, so-and-so ABC failed to pay me. I lost $15,000 of revenue because this person didn't pay. I write that off as on my taxes as a loss, and it's free and clear. This debt still is there. Like you still owe this debt, you still owe this money, but I charged it off. I want nothing to do with it. It's a waste of time. Like me having a representative call you over and over and over again, waste of money for me. And so I'm not in the business of wasting money, but I am in the business of making money. And so I'm going to sell you this list of names for $100. $1,000. You buy this list of names of people who failed to pay me, and you can call them and try and get the money. Like, here's the account information. This is how much they owe. This is their phone number. This is their mailing address. Like, call them and try and get the money off of them, because we already wrote them off, and it is a closed case for us. And so while the case is closed for us, you now have this brand new entity that is calling you, and it is a credit collection company. And the credit collection company makes money by calling people who don't know their rights. You want to talk about a scam? This is a real scam. So once you have a charge off on your credit, it's already charged off, period, point blank. It's done. Party done. So if you don't pay Old Navy, you failed to pay Old Navy charged it off, it pops up on your credit as a charge off, and now all of a sudden you have credit services calling you about Old Navy. Do not pay them. This is what you do. I'm giving you free game right now, baby. Free game. So what you do is you can do two things. You can go ahead and do it yourself, or you can do it with a company. We're going to talk about doing it yourself. And this is all in the Finally Home book. Product placement. This is all in the book. So it's a step-by-step guide, not just to home ownership, but to clean up your credit. And we talk extensively about how to clean up your credit when you get a charge off from X company, and now all of a sudden you have a credit restoration or credit collections company calling you. And so one of the first things that you can do is to go on your Credit Karma, and when you open the account that says charged off, just leave that right there. Do not touch that charge off by Old Navy. But what you can do, because sometimes the credit collection agency will now pop up, even though you don't have a relationship with them, you never signed any documents with them, it can sometimes pop up on your credit. And so that is the one that you dispute on your Credit Karma. Or what you can do is write a letter, and there's actually an actual guide here that talks about how to do it by yourself, and the letter that you need to write, and the sample letter. And so there's a sample letter on what to write and how to write it and who to send it to. And in the sample letter, it has language of how you need to formulate this letter in order for them to have the 30 to 45 days for them to rectify the issue. And so what they have to do is Tayla Andre would have to produce a document where you signed and said, I owe X amount of money, and I am going to pay you for this service, this product, this whatever. And if Tayla Andre does not, to the credit bureaus, to the Equifax, to the TransUnion, if I don't produce this letter saying this is where we built relationship, and this is how much money they owe me, and this is how much she failed to pay, this was the terms and the conditions, and if I don't produce this letter where you agreed to pay me or signed somewhere, then by law, it has to fall off your credit. And a lot of people don't know that. And so you want to talk about scam? That's the real scam. Any credit collections agency calling you is a scam, because you don't have a relationship with them. And so them popping up on your credit is automatically illegal. You can't pop up on my credit when we never had a relationship. So you can, if you've never had a relationship with the credit collection company, you can either dispute it on your Credit Karma, you can dispute it on in a letter, or you can just go ahead and get Finally Home, and it'll tell you step-by-step guide on what you need to do. Or the third option is you can work with a credit company, and they will on your behalf write those letters for you. And so if you know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody who owes a credit collection company, please share this knowledge with them, share this wisdom, share this information, because a lot of people are over here paying credit companies, and they don't even you don't have to. Oh, Tayla, but I owe $2,500. You did not have a relationship with credit collection service, period. Who is credit collection service? You don't know them. You don't owe them any money. But I did owe Old Navy, and Old Navy charged it off. And so you don't owe nobody because Old Navy charged it off. They told the IRS that they, charged it off, and the IRS rolled it back on their taxes for them. That is one of the biggest scams on earth. And we'd even start talking about scams because of that. We started talking about scams because I know somebody who recently got scammed out of that Cash App. They got a text message from one of their friends on Snapchat. And Snapchat deletes messages automatically. And so there is if you are getting messages from a friend or somebody that you communicate with, and they're like, oh, yo, my auntie work at Cash App, and anything you send, they can add a 0 to it. If you yo, I'm trying to tell you, it's real scams out here. If one of your people tell you that they know somebody who work at Cash App that can turn your water into wine, ask them questions, qualifying questions. Because my question was, what's my son's name? Oh, I'll send you a picture of me right now. I don't care about a picture of you. What is my child's name? What's the baby's name? What's the big son name? What's the middle daughter name? What's my kid's name? Start asking qualifying questions before you start sending money, because people are sending money on Cash App to people who they think are their friends. Their friends are asking them yo, can you send me $150 real quick on Snapchat? And then once that message is seen by you, it's deleted. Well, actually, once it's sent by the quote unquote sender, and so people's Snapchats are being invaded or hacked. And so you're getting a message from Tayla, and Tayla's asking you to send me $150, but it's not my Cash App. You're sending it to Joe Schmo. And so you just sent $150, and you can't get your $150 back from Cash App. Once Cash App sends, it's sent, baby. You asked out. There is no refund. So if you ever get a message on Snapchat from somebody asking you if you can send them money, start asking qualifying questions. Ask qualifying questions on exactly who are you and how do you know me? And if they can't answer that, don't wait for a picture. I'm going to send you a picture right now. I'm going to send you a video of me right now, because what they're doing is they're going back into the Snapchat memory of that user and sending previous videos, maybe a video that you never seen your friend post before, or maybe a picture you never seen your friend post before. And so you think it's your friend. It's not your friend. Somebody hacked into their account. And there's a lot of this going on right now. So I just want you to be mindful. I want you to be careful. These are conversations that nobody wants to have. Nobody wants to say that I'm a victim. No one wants to say I was bamboozled. Nobody wants to admit, my daddy just said, nobody wants to admit that I was trying to turn water into wine. I was trying to add some extra zeros to my bank account. Nobody wants to admit the fact that they got snuffed out of their money. Nobody wants to claim that. So these are conversations that nobody wants to have, because nobody wants to say, yeah, I was stupid enough to fall for the okie doke. But there are a lot of people falling for the okie doke, and there's a lot of people losing a lot of money because we're not having conversations about these scams. You want to talk about scams? Talk about the oil industry. If you take a look at the oil industry and flaring, if you guys look up what flaring is, the burning of natural gas. If you look at the Niger Delta, how many billions of gallons of natural gas is being built, and how many not Nigerians is a Niger. What would Nigers be? Would they just be people from Niger? So there's Nigeria, and then there's Niger. And I'm wondering what the people from Niger are called. I don't know. But cancer. They're getting cancer. They're getting boils all over their skin. Their skin's falling apart. Like, this is actually, like, when you think about how much money you pay for gas, how much money you pay for oil, and these are natural resources. Like, this is digging in the ground, taking it out of the soil for free. Mind you, you might be paying for the refining of the gas or the refining of the oil or like the transportation. But in a sense, the government, because they're being all subsidized by government, like, this isn't just like, oh, Exxon is being subsidized by the United States government. And so Exxon, and when you think of Nestle, like Nestle, talking about scam, like, these are huge corporations that are charging you for bottled water that they stole from the ground. Like, literally, they bought like an acre of land for $10,000 in upstate New York, put a hole in the ground and started pumping out water out of the ground. And once that, well, there's a documentary on it. Don't believe me? Like, do your due diligence, baby. Like, I'm not here running my mouth talking about nonsense. Like, these are facts. If you take a look at, I believe it's called Blue Gold, and there's a few other documentaries as well that talk about Nestle just as a corporation internationally. Nestle is not an ethical company. How they engage in the public, their consumer relations, and it's not just Nestle, it's Coca-Cola. When you look at like Coca-Cola, as far as water, they buy or lease land, they stick a hole in the ground, they start pulling out the water, and then they charge your ass for the bottling, and then they destroy the environment by, and this is my personal opinion, there are billions of pounds of plastic in the ocean, and it's called the plastic soup. If you go ahead and you look in the Pacific Ocean, a little further than Hawaii, this is where all of the waters like kind of merge in together. And so you have like Pacific and Indian Ocean and all of these waters mixing. And in this mixture, this little pool, there's like nothing but effing plastic all over the place. And like full bottles. For me, I believe that the people who create the bottles should also be the people that are held responsible. It shouldn't be left to the consumer to strictly recycle, but all bottled water should have a redemption. And I know like redemption is based on city and state, but I think on a federal level, when it comes to bottles and cans, especially when we're doing so much damage to the ecosystem, there should be a redemption of at least 5 cents. And so if 5 cents, 10 cents, whatever the redemption amount is, I have no problem paying the additional 5 cents for the bottled waters to know that it's properly going to be disposed of versus being left in the ocean. Like if you eat fish at some point in time, if we continue the way that we are with our ecosystem, we are going to be eating plastic fish. Like we are going to be eating fish that is only farm raised because we have destroyed the oceans to the point where we can't eat anything out of the ocean. And so you want to talk about scams, take a look at our governments, take a look at our big box businesses, take a look at anything that has, what are those people called that get paid millions of dollars, lobbyists, and look at any corporation that have lobbyists. Take a look at the subsidized industries. So the industries that are being subsidized, like the milk industry, the meat industry, like destroying the ecosystem while still getting all of your millions of dollars of tax paying, your tax paying dollars. And so I would like for you to be informed. I would like for you to be mindful as far as like what's going on in the world as far as scamming is concerned, even though there are individuals that are out here scamming, even though people were being Cash App scammed, people are being Facebook scammed, people are being Apple Pay scammed, even though all of these scams exist and people are losing a lot of money because of their ignorance, because my daddy said it's because they are looking for like a get rich quick type scheme. A lot of people are losing a lot of money, but at the same time, if you look, above what's going on, above like the individual level, our governments are scamming us. Our corporations are scamming us. We are being scammed every single freaking day. And we have a president that is allowing it, but apparently won't allow you to have diversity, equity, and inclusion conversations because he just ixnayed on the all of it, like all of it. And so I thank you. I love you. I appreciate you. Scams are real. Be mindful of the scams. Be mindful of the scammers. And my daddy said, like, approach everything like it was a scam, and you are less likely to be scammed. And so I thank you. I love you. I appreciate you. If you know anybody who has anything in collections, credit card collections, please have them grab this book for the step-by-step guide so they are not wasting their money, because credit card collection companies are scammers too. You don't owe them. You don't have to pay. This is your step-by-step guide. Let's talk about it. I am Tayla Andre, TaylaAndre, at why am I always trying to give you my email? At thumbprintrealty.com, but it's TaylaAndre.com. Everything Tayla Andre, from merchandise to the book to real estate. If you're looking to buy, if you're looking to sell, anything you need, everything Tayla Andre, TaylaAndre. I thank you. I love you. I appreciate you. Tomorrow we are having a dope conversation with the Black Removal Authority, aka the BRA, aka what did they change their name to? The BDPD, some nonsense like that. But we're gonna have a conversation about Bartlett Yard and a lot of the buildings and construction that is taking place in the city of Boston. And so if you have any questions regarding construction in the city of Boston, tomorrow is the day that we are going to be discussing that with the BPDP, or the BRA, the Black Removal Authority. And so keep it locked for that. I thank you. I love you. I appreciate you. Today was an awesome day. Keep scamming to all the scammers. May your ass get caught. Mwah.